Hello, and welcome back to Common Sense for Relationships. How have you been? On this channel, we bring you valuable information to help you make better decisions in your lives and in your relationships. And we are hoping that as we are sharing all of this info with you, you are applying them and that you are seeing beautiful results in your life. So today is not going to be any different in terms of value that we are giving to you, but it's going to be different because we're bringing you yet another one of our special videos to help set the stage for an interesting discussion. My name is Anietie. I'm a relationship coach, singer-songer. That's interesting. Singer and songer.
Singer-songer, yes.
Singer-songwriter. And so on and so forth. This is my darling husband,
Yes.
Kingsley Bature.
It's your boy, Kingsley Bature, the people's coach. How y'all doing, man? And she's a singer-songer, because she sings and songs. Do you understand? Yeah. she's also an engineer, a life coach, a counselor, and a mentor. So she's many things. Right? So the reason I'm singing her praise is people have to understand that I'm a sharp guy. I married well. Do you understand? So that's part of the reasons why we do what we do on this show, just to show you how to marry well and how to stay well married. Oh my goodness. They should underline down how to marry well and how to stay well married. Yes. And that's probably something they need to learn from today's show when they watch the video, our short movie with our great crew that make these things happen. I hope you enjoyed. And please, we need to see your comments and we need to see your contributions. And it's a good time to share it, to like, and to subscribe. Share it, like, subscribe, and tell the people you shared and liked to subscribe also. Yes, thank you.
Interesting. Okay, so I think this is a good time for us to dive into the video, and then when we come back, we will introduce our discussion for today, and then we'll take it from there. All right, people, let's go.
Let's go.
These people. You decided to sleep early today?
No, I should be. While I know they finish.
Man. Honestly, I just finished speaking with Mom. See? She's coming tomorrow. Bobby. Do you hear what I said?
That what?
I said Mom is coming tomorrow.
Coming to visit or coming to stay?
How can you be asking me coming to visit? You know that she does not live near here. So, of course, if she's coming to visit, I mean she's coming to stay.
Baby, if she's coming to stay, why are you telling me now? As in, she's coming to stay too. So what can I really do about it? That's not okay now. You know all the things that I need to do before she comes. I need to rearrange my timing. I need to organize my work. I need to get certain things.
Just wait first. I need to. The whole thing is all about you. I was talking about my mother coming. Now it's all about you. The last time I checked, if your mom wants to come to this house, even if it's no, she'll just show up. She doesn't need permission from anybody. Why is it when it's time for my own mother to come? That's when it's time to do permission, advance notice,
Baby, listen to yourself now. Listen to yourself. Come on. See what you are saying. See what you are saying. You know how it is.
How is it?
So I have to tell you all the things that we have to do when your mother is coming.
So are you trying to say that me, as I am like this, I don't know how to take care of my own mother? What are you trying to say?
See, you are.
In fact, I don't even know what.
I don't think I can't have this.
We want to have this conversation.
Baby,
This is something we have to talk. Now you are going. This is what you do all the time. Simple issue that we want to talk about. You've gotten angry. You walk away. How we have ever resolved anything? I don't even know what's wrong with this guy. Every time, something anger. I don't even know what's wrong with that. All right, welcome back. How did you find that? Can you see how something that was meant to be a simple piece of information
simple
delivered peacefully?
simple piece of information became a complex, complicated conversation.
In fact, let's analyze it a bit before we go further. So, Barbie is telling you
Yes.
that her mom is coming.
Yes.
And then you started talking about all the things that have to be done. And Barbie is reading your feedback as you don't want her mother to come and that she needs to take permission from you. So is that what you really meant?
So you are talking from Barbie's side, and me, I am talking from see what Bobby. The moment you say your mother is coming, what Bobby is hearing is that there is a project that Bobby needs to handle that he has not been given timeline, he has not been given the resources, he has not been given the structure. And he's saying what you are telling him is that I have a system that is running, and you are going to introduce a disruption into the system without allowing him to prepare for it. So he is hearing. So you are giving him Bobby was giving Bobby a simple information, right? But what Bobby is responding to is not the simplicity of the information, but the complexity of the consequence of that information.
So it seems like you had good plans. Bobby had good plans, right? But Bobby read extra meaning into it. And this may just be a bias. And this is something to watch out for when dealing with issues that have to do with in-laws.
So number one that I can hear you say is it doesn't take a big thing to cause a big quarrel.
Yes.
Where in-laws are concerned.
Yes.
Where you're having in a relationship.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah, it doesn't. Because there's that thing of my people versus your people.
Your people, okay.
And as long as you continue to see yourselves as separate like that, you will always have these biases. If you allow, especially in situations where you have families that are really close-knit, right? And then, of course, the marriage happens, and now there's the husband who sometimes, and it's interesting, so it's both ways, husband, wife. Sometimes you just want to keep emphasizing how close, how close
your family is.
My family, we're so close, Yeah, beg, calm down.
God, I've married you.
So it's a situation of you decided to do life with somebody else, and you knew that with that decision you are going to have to create a new unit.
Okay.
That should be the closest knit compared to whatever you had before. Now, nobody's saying that you should give up on your existing relationship. Nobody's saying you should start to dislike your family or treat them with less importance. But the expectation is that you should create space, room for your new family that you decided that you are going to form, your new nuclear family, to bond, to be strengthened, to thrive, right?
Together.
Yes, but but do
Together.
that. But what is your problem?
No, to thrive now together.
Yes,
Yes.
but do that in such a way that there's harmony on both sides, and really that's where the tact comes in. So first and foremost, please love your husband love your wife, right? And then in loving this person that you say you're getting married to, you should also have room in your heart for their family. Don't because part of the problem is when people come into marriage and they're already trying to draw line that I'm not going to allow anybody to come in between me and my husband. You know, they start making it look as if it's a battle from the word go, and you start seeing your in-laws as enemies, as opposition, as competition. When it comes to it's like your husband's or your spouse's heart is land that is to be claimed, and you're looking at his people or her people as competition. I want the whole thing. I want everything. I'm not going to allow anybody to come and. Do you understand?
Okay.
When you have that kind of setting, then it is ground for trouble, because even your spouse will sense it and will become concerned about little things, because they're thinking, okay, this is another case where you want your family to win. So baseline, come with an open heart.
As in, this is, we are talking about this at the point where when I don't marry, you are in the marriage. This is a marital situation. When you are in the marital situation, you have to do what? All the cards need to be on the table. Now, if you are at the point where you have not entered, come with an open heart, because what was is not what will continue to be. What will continue to be is what you make it to be.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So, like you said, where if you are coming as a single, you are coming into marriage, you are going to have to deal with in-laws, right? And in-laws introduce a sort of complexity. What complexity isn't always bad. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So even the world we live in is a complex one.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it bad. So if two of you alone, you feel like you are okay, a third party, in-laws, introduces the complexity. The question now is, this complexity, what is the way to deal with it? Because we deal with complexities every day. Let's not act as if the problem of my marriage are in-laws. In fact, remember that we had some young people that we are even praying for their mother-in-law.
They're hoping to marry somebody whose
mother is already dead,
Yes.
so that their mother-in-law, they will not have mother-in-law issues. No, that's not the way. It's to say, before you get there, plan for it, prepare. Then when you get there, deal with the issue that is before you. Do you understand?
Yes.
And part of the way to deal with it is to, number one, like you said, come with an open heart before you get in.
Yeah.
If you are already in, you need to be looking at the issues. Sometimes people are difficult. Sometimes people are difficult. But you need to step away from the people and stay on the issues. If somebody is saying, for example, I'm taking a case, we'll come back to the analyzing the drama. I'm taking a case that is not, in fact, I can even use the drama's case. What she's saying is, my mother is coming tomorrow. What he's hearing is, I am dropping all of this work on your lap and you just need to sort it out. I don't know if you understand. So sometimes it's the same thing that happens when somebody says, I like my mother's food, right? And the next thing the woman says, so now you prefer your mother to my cooking.
mother's cooking to mine.
Your mother's cooking to my cooking, and I am your wife. Where in that case, go and marry your mother. Before you know it, wahala has started. So it's those. So it's like that. Those we need to stay on the issue. Separate the issue from the person. Stay on the issue. So and moving away from that, so open clean slate, stay on the issue, then come to the place where you are looking at what the other person is actually saying. An interesting part for me from that movie was that Barbie was actually smiling and laughing when she told him that her mother is coming tomorrow. So it was like, this is not supposed to cause any problem. And as far as Barbie is concerned, it shouldn't have caused any problem. So it is now her surprise that the look on his face is changing. The way he was responding is changing. And she's like, what is it? Now, but in saying, what is it? He's expressing all the what is it to him. The next thing that Barbie can hear is, you are just talking about you. So it's a case of, it's really a case of, she's saying honey, but he's hearing monkey. Do you understand? Yes. She's saying honey, but what he's hearing monkey, because she's saying one thing, but he's hearing what the thing means. There is that book that says like women are from, where is it, Venus, men are from Mars, something like that.
I think it's Mars and Jupiter or something.
Or something like that. That we read it back then. But all the book is trying to say is that even in a marriage, you have to understand the differences or the uniqueness of each person in the union. You need to understand what this person hears and be sure that they are hearing what you are actually saying. Because on one hand, you are saying, my mother is coming tomorrow. On the other hand, he's saying, these are all the work you are dropping for me. Maybe because previously, or maybe because in past times, it feels that when your mother is coming, he feels he has to maybe live up to a certain standard. And that from a good place, it may even be that he wants to ensure that she gets a good experience. But now, if you are telling me in 24 hours, it doesn't give me the chance to, do something.
So I think we can pull certain, just what shouldn't have happened and what should have happened, or what was good and what was not good. So first and foremost, just basic consideration, right? Basic consideration of, I am living in the same house with somebody, right? Or I am doing life with someone, because it's not just the case of someone, an in-law is coming. It could be an in-law making a request. It could be an in-law asking for a favor and stuff like that. So what do? Always remember that you are one with somebody else. That's your spouse. So it's not just your response that matters. You have to remember the response of your spouse. You have to consider their view on the issue. So when an issue comes up or any situation comes up, you have to think, what would their concerns be about this?
What would their concerns
How will
be?
this affect their dynamic? Because imagine, maybe it's a time when this person just needs space. It's a time when your spouse wants room to be able to maybe prepare for something big that is coming up, a project is handling and so on. Or it could be anything, and he just does not want people around at that time. Or he just does not have the means to meet that request that is coming at that time, or whatever it is that came your way for consideration. So don't just accept and then now come and inform, because that probably was the trigger.
Key one. That was the trigger. You accepted before informing.
Yes. So instead, you think about it. Who do I want to hurt? Because a lot of times it comes down to that. Who do I want to hurt? Do I want to hurt this person? Or do I want to hurt my spouse? And if you know that you don't want to hurt your spouse, then you will be bold enough to tell the person, oh, I've heard what you're saying. Just give me some time to process it. Or let me test with my spouse, and then I'll give you feedback soon.
The other, something that underlies what you're saying right now may also be the fact that a lot of times when family is involved, we have a there's a weight of expectation on you in other a weight of expectation because of your family. So you are thinking there's an expectation that my family have of me that I have to always present. So even in the case of the mother coming to ask you for something, you feel like she's my mother now. I have to say yes, right? But then after saying yes, then you now come to inform the spouse
but
because of that weight
but
of
the fact is, she's your mother. You have to say yes.
Yes.
But the yes doesn't have to be on your mother's terms.
Right.
The yes needs to be on the couple's terms.
Fantastic.
So the request is valid, yes?
Yes.
Come back to your spouse, discuss it, and then determine how you're going to meet that request. So it may be, oh, tomorrow is not a good day to visit. Can we make it the weekend instead? Or it may be that amount is too high. Can we make it this other amount? Or okay, no problem with the amount, but can it be around this period? Because now you're considering inflow, and so on. So that a number of these things. And there's just the part where your partner feels respected and valued when you test these things.
Yes,
with
guys,
them.
guys, like we like respect.
Yes,
We like
when you test these things with them. So it's not just you come and inform full stop. Some women will complain about maybe their husband just inviting guests and then telling them last minute, oh, by the way, Emeka Chukuma, Namdi and somebody else are coming
to the house.
Do you understand? And all of a sudden she's thinking 4 people.
Exactly.
What do I have in the house?
Exactly.
What am I going to prepare? Do we even have drinks?
Exactly.
And then all of
that's the same thing that Bobby was dealing with.
All of a sudden she's overwhelmed and she's wondering, how am I going to? And she wants to present a good front for your sake, for her husband's sake, and for
the guest.
Do you understand? So these are things. So just please remember to consult with your spouse. Just make sure they are on board, they are aligned, they are okay, and then you now give feedback to the third party.
So that's a better way that should have happened.
Yeah.
Something else that I would like to point that I would say this should have happened or they did well. Something else that should not have happened. Something else that should not have happened is just like you were saying, from the place where Bobby told Bobby about the information, and Bobby conveyed his position, right? From that place, if you watch it, it seems like there was a switch and they left the issue, which was my mother is coming, and entered the issue of
you're talking
about yourself. It's about you. And because you said it's about you, Bobby also responded back to you. See what you are saying. Listen to yourself. Yeah. So we have left the issue and we have entered personal attacks.
Yeah. So and that often happens when you are keeping record of wrong. You know something that the Bible says, love keeps no record of wrong. And when you keep no record of wrong, you will not be maintaining you've married this person or you've married this person. Yeah. Keeping record of wrong is not going to help you. Do you understand? So if you are keeping the record, you find yourself something is happening now and your database is activated, and then you start pulling from there. The other time this, the other time this. That's how you usually, and that's how you pick from that database because you're keeping the record. So you will find yourself often going off tangents going off on a tangent, right? Leaving the matter on ground because you have information that you have stored up. So try to address the situation and not refer to your database, right? Treat this particular situation, for instance, in this case, we are talking about mother coming.
Yes.
If he says, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that, rather than say, this is, you're making it about yourself. This is what you always do. But how about asking, why is this really
a
problem for you?
Okay,
help me understand.
Or even get to the place where you're saying, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. And if we were going to act that scene differently as normal, it would be like, okay,
There are certain things we need to put in place.
Okay, there are certain things we need to put in place.
For her comfort.
For her comfort. So, okay, Bobby, I hear you. Number one, I hear you say, number one, you need to restructure. How can I help? What is the inconvenience that I can take off you? Because it's short notice. Maybe, in fact, maybe I should even have told you before.
Yeah.
Maybe okay. So I
this
get
is
it.
Empathy.
This is empathy.
This is empathy.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you.
you are acknowledging you have unsettled your spouse.
Yes.
There are reasons why he's unsettled, and you seek to understand more, and you apologize for even bringing something to cause this.
Cause the disruption.
Sorry, I told you late, or it's maybe you explain. This is why I didn't say no. I'm sorry, I should have discussed this with you before. It's just empathy. How would you have wanted this person to treat you if
the roles were flipped?
Yeah,
like in the case where maybe it was Bobby this time that was bringing his relatives and everybody to the house, and they are on the way, and they call you and say, we are 5 of us coming to the house, so do something.
Yeah.
And you at that point you just pull up a spreadsheet of everything that is not together that you want to do, and if you respond and for any reason, because he may even be calling you on the what's that thing called, on the Bluetooth of the car, and everybody's hearing, and then you are responding, how can you do this to me now? Because you are responding from all of that place. He can be calling you like that because he doesn't think it would be a problem. Just like Bobby didn't think it would be a problem until she realized all the complexities that are attached to this simple request.
Yes. So you really have to pay attention to what the other person might be feeling or experiencing. More like put your foot in their shoes.
Yes, your shoe fine.
And try and try to just understand why this would bite. And another thing is communication.
Yeah.
Right? Because Bobby was trying to make a point that there's a lot to do. But he did not communicate it completely. When you're trying to, please remember, a number of things are negotiation in marriage and in relationships. You always have to be conscious that there is what is in it for me. For each person. No matter people think, because we're married, it should be selfless, sacrificial. What. But hey, make it make sense.
It needs to make sense to the other person.
Do you understand? Yes. So, for instance, Bobby is speaking back to Bobby. We need to do this and that and that. He needed to add, because your mom needs this so that she'll be comfortable, so that we can make sure she has everything she needs, and so that you will not be stressed. Just make it. Let the other person see that I'm not just thinking about myself here. I'm also thinking about everybody's experience, so that it will be wholesome and it will be pleasant for everyone. Because when you do it that way, someone can throw back, you're just thinking about yourself. You're just thinking about yourself. So it's really important. Communication is so important in everything. In marriages, communication is key.
Very key.
In relationships,
Very
communication
key.
is crucial.
Crucial.
If you don't do it well, you will find that little things become complex, little things become difficult. You go very easily from laughter to arguments and to fight and so on, which is completely not necessary. Yes. So now the other thing is something that everybody needs to know is this part of who should engage. Who should engage? Who should be the person if there's an issue that is sensitive? Who should go and talk to the in-laws?
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Because if the wrong person raises the right conversation, we would have a catastrophe.
Exactly. And some people will say, but you're part of the family now. Go and handle it.
It doesn't always. It's not,
do you understand?
It's not straight. It's not straight like that. It's not straight like that. Yeah, you're part of the family.
You tell your wife to go and tell your mother that you don't like the food she cooked. Hey.
Oh, that wife must be very strong. She must be standing on something.
Do you understand? Or you will tell your wife to go and tell your father that this is not a good time for him to visit.
Oh.
Do you understand? You're just setting You're just setting her up for trouble, and you're preparing wahala for yourself, because when the
backlash,
exactly, you now be in the middle. So if you were reluctant before, you were just feeling lazy about it, eventually you will be involved. So why don't you just avoid the chaos?
I think just what you're saying, the truth is as far as in-laws are concerned, there must be a strategy from the onset on how to engage.
Yes.
There must be a strategy. If it may be that for my people I engage, for your people you engage, even if both of us are running the same script, right? So it will be, for my people I engage, but both of us come back and we communicate, this is what is expected of us, or this is what is required of us, but this is the position, and that position you take to your people as required. Because this issue that you raise, this other part where you find yourself in the middle, is because somebody has not created the right boundaries. There are some
and because the right strategy has not been defined for how to manage.
There are some quarrels that you can never have with my mother. Do you understand? The reason you cannot have those quarrels with my mother is because by myself I have built a fence around those, so that if those things are going to happen, the quarrel will be with me, not with you. And those are the kind of things that we're talking about. That some quarrels that wives and mother-in-laws have, because a lot of times it's wives and mother-in-laws. Very few times you find fathers getting involved. So there are certain quarrels that wives and mother-in-laws should never have, because the man in the home has defined boundaries and protected his wife, which is his core duty, to protect his home. And when I use the word protect, it doesn't mean that the mother-in-law is vicious. No, that's the other thing I was going to speak about, engaging. After you've spoken about who to engage, the other thing we have to speak about is expectations. Right? Everybody, I don't care who you marry, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, whatever. No matter how spiritual, in fact, even if you marry the Pope, okay, Pope does not marry. If you marry the general overseer has expectations. Do you understand? So no matter who you marry, they have expectations. This whole thing that we hear that, because we're in a marriage, it should be sacrificial, whatever, I should let anything go for him, he should let anything go for you. That thing is not real. I don't know where you saw it, but if you saw it in a book, please help me read it. If it's the Bible, please show me where it is. I will explain to you where it is in this context. Expectations. As everybody has expectations. So the mother-in-law may not be vicious. And when I say protect, I'm saying because she has expectations, you have to also do what? Help her manage the expectations she has, while you also manage the expectations in your home as the man. Do you understand? Especially in our culture.
And speaking of expectations is really important, because you see that a number of times everybody is out to protect their self and their interests. And then, by extension, they want to protect the person that is dear to them. So you see that the mother, for instance, wants to protect her child in that relationship. Do you understand? And because of that, you see that the natural tendency will be to look out for or take sides with, and so on, with this person that is their child. And the spouse of the child is feeling like, you people are ganging up against me. But what needs to happen is that husband and wife need to actually come to terms, have to discuss and agree and align on the fact that, look, we are now married. This is what I meant to my family. This was my role in their lives. This is how I connected and bonded with them. And this other person, wife, shares her own part too. And then you people now say, okay, how do we manage all these now that we are a family, now that we are getting married, or now that we have gotten married? How do we continue to be there for our family members the way we used to be, right? Without hurting this current family unit. So you now find out that you may not be able to do everything exactly how you used to, but you will find a middle ground.
Yeah.
Because now you're finding a middle ground that works for them and a middle ground that works for your new family unit, right? And what else will help you here? Communication. Because now you have to come and say, okay, mommy or daddy, I know I used to do so and so and so and so for you, but you know I have a family now.
Yes.
And or I'm starting my own family, and it will need a lot of attention and care. So I will do up to this point, but I may not be able to do up to this point.
Yes.
You know, so those discussions have to happen. Oh, mommy, you know, I used to call you and speak to you for 3 hours. But now I'm in a relationship. Now I've gotten married and my husband needs my attention.
Yes.
If I do 3 hours with you, then I won't have enough time left in the day to spend with my husband. So maybe we'll cut it down to 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night, and then I'll spend the rest of the time with my husband. Or do you understand? So
those things are crucial. They are skills, right? That every marriage needs to have, you know, in managing these expectations. There are skills. And I already hear some people trying to say maybe like, so are you using style to cut us out of your life, you know, especially with the cultural context, and maybe in a case where you are the first son or the first daughter in an Igbo setting, first son is paramount and everybody is the one responsible for. All of those things are part of what you will manage. You have to manage those expectations.
And you that you are coming into this person's life, this is part of what we call empathy. And this is part of what we call just basic love your neighbor as yourself, right? You cannot come and claim, I love this man. And when you met this man and started loving him, you knew that his family depended on him for sustenance, that everybody sacrificed probably for him to be the one that went to school and became all that he has become, that you now came and fell in love with.
Now you want to cut off everybody.
Now you want to cut him off from all of that and let him be.
Because yes,
absolutely yes. No. You have to think, if you sit down and think about it, just basic care and kindness will make you think, if I say he should not support his family anymore, how will they survive?
Right.
Who will pay the school fees?
Right.
Who will pay the rent?
Right.
Who will send money for upkeep?
Right.
You know, and when you think about that, that will make you realize that, hey, I need to allow certain things to happen because these people are depending on it. If I can't say cut off, we can say adjust. And this is why you, I'm speaking for women. This is why women, you need to be empowered. Because part of the reason you can be dragging his resources and trying to remove food from the mouth of his relative is because you want the money for yourself, because you have not learned or because you have not developed your own stream of income. Women, we have to be able, see, having your own money will save you a lot of trouble.
I agree.
Because if you have your own money and the man says, I am training this other one, I'm paying school, I'm doing this other, I'm providing food, you say, okay, no problem. This is just what I need for you so that we have a joint, whatever, and we can also achieve this. You will not say, all that money is now here. Because you can source out the family by yourself. You can handle a number of things without having to cut off this other people's supply. So love is very important. And that love is not just, oh, I love my husband, I feel all these feelings for him, butterflies in my tummy. No, there's the basic, I love you, you are a human being. And in loving you, I love the people that have contributed in making you who you are to this point. The mother that raised you, the siblings you grew up with, do you understand? They may be different from you. They may have some maybe attitudes or characters that you don't necessarily like. But then what are you going to do in that case? You learn to live in peace. So, you know, the Bible says, pursue peace with all men. You are just on a roll. I'm looking for how to stop you, but I can't stop you. I'm sorry.
But you are just showing. Producer, don't give hand finish. You don't give that. They need to end the show because we have run out of time.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, let me end this one.
Yes.
Pursue peace with all men. As in, chase it. When you see peace running,
Run
chase
after it. Run after
and
it.
catch it. It's important for peace in your home. So you analyze each of the people that are your in-laws and think, what is necessary for peace with this person? What is required for peace with this person? What is required for peace with this person? And you stick with it. And that way you are at peace with everybody. If somebody decides to beef you, is that they personally chose to have beef for you, not that you created the conditions or the environment to for that
even
trouble
and
to
even
grow.
if they have beef with you, once you guys have an understanding with your husband, knowing that the person that has beef with you is on the other fence, if your husband builds the fence properly, the person will not be able to get access to you.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know we've run out of time. All right. Okay, everybody.
So usually it's you that stops me. Now today I'm feeling good.
You're very happy.
Oh
that
yes,
anyone
yes,
stopped me.
yes.
Okay.
I'm working with the in-laws.
All right, everyone. Thank you so
Yes.
much for being part of today's show. Unfortunately, today's one is not live, but you know,
we are live and direct.
yes. But we trust that you've gotten value, and on that note, would like you to just go ahead and like if you haven't liked,
Yeah,
share if
sure.
you haven't shared, and then if you haven't yet subscribed, subscribe. Hey, we're aiming to hit 3,000 very soon.
Yeah,
We are at 2,900 and
so we need to you guys need to help us. 3,000. No, with the kind of value that we are giving, we should be doing 10,000. Guys, can you help us get to 10,000? Yes, that's where we want to get to. So you guys like, subscribe, share to your enemies, share to your in-laws. Yes, share to your in-laws. Let them watch this one so that
and
they
you know
can
what?
subscribe.
When you have just a final note from me will be, you do not realize the wealth of support or the extent of support that you have when your in-laws
are in your corner.
In your corner.
Maladabaya.
My goodness.
Oh,
so those of you praying that you want to marry somebody whose mother is dead and stuff like that, no.
The support system.
When it's time for Mugo, you will know that.
Oh, when it's time for Mugo.
Yes, and other times. There's so many different times when you need that support. So rather than pray for people to die in the life of the person you want to marry, pray for people to be understanding and kind, and pray for people that you will flow with and people that will welcome you with open arms. Yes, because the same God that you are hoping that will answer the prayer of kill them.
You will have children.
Can answer the prayer of make them love me.
Yes.
Make them
He's not,
accept me. So I mean, why God has all power now? Don't be asking him to be killing people.
You have sense.
And so on.
On the final note from my side is the fact that the way they ended is the way that usually ends most relationship. The walking away. The walking away. The walking away. Don't end.
When you refuse to engage.
When you refuse to engage. If we are in a relationship, we have to engage.
Engage
until we resolve.
Yes.
Yes. Not the kind of engagement that ends with swollen face and shifted jaws. No, those are not engagement. Those are
that's violence.
Those are violence.
That's abuse.
Engage, converse, resolve issues. If it's getting heated, if we're able to rewind that, maybe I'll tell the producers, maybe they will do something after they release the movie, then they will do how the movie should have gone. Then they will rewind it and then stop the person. So they will rewind, instead of walking away, they will rewind and say what just happened right now. And in that place, resolve the issues, right? So don't avoid. Engage until resolution. If it gets heated, then put it in the cooler. You can, instead of walking away, you can say, hey, this conversation is getting heated. Can we pause on it and resume when we have calmed down and we have clear heads? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's a final note from me on handling difficult conversation
when it has to be in-laws. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us on the show today.
Yeah.
And until next time, remember, common sense is
not so common.
common.
Bye.